Alright, everybody, here we go. Gonna play a Napoleon game. Haven't really done this in a while, honestly. So we'll see what we can put together. This is a 1v1 on the grassy flatlands. My name is Jay Martin. Thanks for watching. Yada, yada, yada. And I don't know my opponent, so I'm not going to bother telling you anything about him. I didn't even bother to look up his Steam page, which is something that I usually do. And, oh, whoops. Control 1, Control 1. Come on, guys. Control 2. And Control 3. There we go. Now we got some groups. We'll put some cav back there. And we'll go right there and we'll pretty much wait for the other guy to click go. Anyway, so playing some Napoleon again. Don't really do this as often as I'd like anymore. It's just hard to get games anymore. Like, I get that it's mostly Europeans that play the game and everything, which kind of sucks if you live in the US of A like I do. Let's see if I can't. Maybe right there. Yeah. Let's try that. And this guy is taking a sweet time. I'm going to go ahead and click go. See what kind of trouble we can get into here. This guy's playing as Prussia, I believe. So he probably has a really strong center. And as a result, I have a really weak center. I only have 1 unit of volts in there. And a couple Swiss backing them up. So we'll see what we can do. What are we looking at here? This guy might not be very good. Lancer, Ulan, Musketeer, Musketeer, Musketeer. Okay, he's got rifles because we can't see anybody. The good news is he has no foot guards. He does have grenadiers, which is kind of a weird choice for grassy flatlands. But I imagine there's 5 rifles hiding right up there, which are not really that big of a deal. Rifles are actually really, really weak against volts. The strength of volts is that they're really hard to kill because they spread out pretty far. So his rifles probably won't do a whole lot of damage, especially if I can get in close. I'm playing as France, and France, their strength is their line infantry and not their light infantry. So the light infantry, when you play as France, you're using mostly as essentially kind of a meat shield. So that's what you want to do. Now this guy is, I'm actually going to split my cav onto the 2 wings because I completely out-cav him. He just has lancers and only 4 of them. And unless he gets me in a straight-up charge situation, which I can probably avoid, his lancers are probably going to be pretty weak to my shooty cav. So I'm going to spread everybody out. And I am moving my army up real slow. I'm just walking. I really hate playing against people like this. There was actually a thread on the forums the other day. Somebody was like talking about how artillery is cool or something. And the argument that I think nobody really gets or that nobody understands is that, well, some people get it, but the argument is that this is a game. All right? It's a game. And it isn't fair, if we're just playing a game, for you to sit on one side of the map and to force your opponent to walk all the fucking way over. It's just not polite. And yes, it's a game, and there are the rifles, and if I wanted, I could like camp in the corner on the red line with some howitzers or something like that, but that just isn't polite. It's not fun. It's not fair. And I think, what a lot of times it takes some work to explain to people is that, this is a game, and there's a community of people who play it, and if you want to be a good member of that community, you got to be a fair player. There go the stakes. That's kind of fucking irrelevant. You got to be a fair player, and there's a bunch of really fair players in this game. There's a bunch of really good players in this game. but what I don't get is the mindset of somebody who thinks it's okay for, as he reaps, you shall sow. Like if you sow, just camping with stakes and everything, and what happened? What my question is, what happens when two campers meet in the woods? If a tree falls, can you hear it? That kind of shit, right? Like what do you do? How do you react? And the reason why artillery is stupid, or why people with penises don't use it, is that if all you want to do is fucking sit there, then you're not exactly playing the game, then are you? Genius. And I don't get the mindset. Is the red line there? Oh, there's the red line. I don't get the mindset of people who think that it's okay to play like that. You might win some games or whatever, but it's not a fair way to play the game. It's just not a fair way to play the game. And so that's what I think. Why are you way the fuck out there? He's moving his light cav over. Let's move these guys up. What I'd really like to do is kill his cav. So if I can kill this guy's cav, then I can pretty much do whatever I want to him. And it looks like he's going to let me do that. So we'll start running in right here. And I imagine he's probably going to charge me here in a second, which is perfectly fine. We're just going to try to get some shots on his cav. Looks like we're about to do that. And if we can fuck up his cav a little bit, then we can do that. Another thing to think about, or another thing that I think about, is that, oh, okay, he wants to hug the red line. That's fine. Yep, he's running his cav away. That's perfectly all right with me. Another thing to think about, like if you're like an artillery camper person, is, it's not just about relationships with other players, but it's also about just how you present yourself through the course of the game. Oh, he's got a good general. And if your idea of a good game. Oh, here come the rifles. We're going to kite our center back a little bit. Actually, we're going to cut our center back a lot. And let's see what kind of trouble we can get into over here with these guys. And we're going to get on this guy's flank. So it is kind of an interesting game we got developing here, actually. And looks like his rifles are coming out from behind his stakes. Once our old guard group gets into position here, we should be able to fuck this guy up pretty good. And a lot of times I play players like this, like 1v1 and Grassy, and they get pretty dissatisfied, or they have a bad time, just because I maneuver and I move around. And they seem to not be able to handle that, which is weird because that's what this game is all about. You got to be able to maneuver. You got to be able to move. And we have an old guard showing up. It looks like he's finally tired of having my cav there, and he's just randomly charging all of his cav. So let's get in there and attack these guys. It looks like we're successfully running them away there. And that's all it takes to rout some infantry. So let's go there. And this is how you do it, folks. You just slowly but surely grind your way forward. And yeah, looks like he's going to run away quite a bit. So let's give him every opportunity to do that. And there are rifles there, but I think he's away from his stakes. And I'm tired of this shit, so we're just going to go kill him. And I am taking a lot of casualties here. That is true. Let's run our volts back. Let's take the volley. And he is going to be charging cab. Ooh, we might get his general right there. And yeah, he got our volts. That's fine. And we might need to retreat off of that back into the line there. These guys are not moving nearly as fast as they should be. And we could have a problem here. But we killed his cav, which is kind of what I thought would happen. So let's shift our cav back to this section of the map. And let's get busy. These guys really need to be shooting. These guys really need to be shooting harder. And these guys need to be shooting too. So let's go ahead and move these guys here. Let's get our shooter cav up there. And let's get you up there. And pretty soon, it's going to be time for cav charge. Yeah, our militia just routed. That's fine. And I'm probably making a mistake here. What I'm going to try to do is chase his cav into my square. That was probably bad. I probably should have just countercharged right there. But that's what I'm doing. And our cav charge there was pretty much a huge success. Let's switch over there. And we're going to kite away here. I have shooter cav that should be engaging that square. And it looks like our retreat through the square may be a bit of a success. He's bringing his general in. And that cav unit that we started running through all of those units is doing pretty good. So we're just trying to get his units caught up in that square right there. We are facing a bit of a disadvantage. It's time to come out of square. And we're going to recoup the lost investment with our own cav charge into his infantry unit. And we're going to try to follow that into his general is what we're trying to do. So let's pull back there. And he calls GG. So I'm not really sure the game is over yet. But no, he quits out. So that's fine. But hey, anyway, love recording a game. I didn't think the other guy played that bad, actually. But anyway, there you go. Thanks for watching. Bye.